Élio was a little boy who loved stars more than anything. Every evening, he would sit by his window to watch them dance across the sky. He knew their shapes, their names, and always waited eagerly for the magical moment when one would streak across the heavens. That night, Élio made a wish. "I wish I could meet one, just once." He had barely whispered the words when a bright light shot across the sky. But instead of vanishing, it spiraled downward and landed gently in his garden. Élio, surprised and amazed, ran outside in his pajamas, his bare feet brushing the cool grass. There, among the flowers, a little star glowed softly. It trembled slightly, as if it were cold. Élio stepped closer and held out his hand. The star seemed alive. "Hello?" said a tiny crystal-clear voice. "My name is Luma. I'm a shooting star, and I'm lost." Élio couldn't believe his ears. A talking star? A star in his garden? He sat beside her and listened carefully. Luma explained that she had come down a little too early for the year's greatest event, the ball of the shooting stars. Each night, deep within the forest, the stars that descend from the sky gather to dance together in a secret clearing, before gently rising back into the clouds. But this time, she had gotten lost. "If I don't make it in time, I'll never be able to go back, and I'll have to stay here forever." Her tiny glimmers of light were starting to fade. Élio felt his heart tighten. He couldn't let Luma disappear. "Don't worry, I'll take you there," he said with determination. He put on his coat, grabbed a lantern, and together they set off into the night. The forest was calm but different. The leaves seemed to whisper. The tree trunk shimmered slightly, and mushrooms sparkled like tiny lamps on the ground. Fireflies swirled all around them, lighting the way. Élio walked carefully, keeping Luma warm in his hands. Suddenly, a huge owl swooped down from a branch. He wore round glasses and looked at Élio with curiosity. "You're looking for the clearing of the stars?" he asked in a deep voice, then followed the moonstones and crossed the rainbow bridge. They thanked him and continued on their way. The moonstones formed a path that glowed softly with every step. Then they came to a strange bridge, suspended between two trees, made of shimmering light and color. Fireflies guarded it like sentinels. "To pass, you must dance," they sang. Élio laughed and began to twirl, arms lifted high. Luma, delighted, stretched out her glowing filaments and spun with him. The bridge gently pulsed with light, and they were allowed to cross. At last, they reached the clearing. It was a magical place. The ground shimmered like a mirror, and dozens of stars twirled down from the sky. They spun and glided, leaving golden trails behind them. The music came from the wind, the trees, the sky, from everywhere. Luma soared forward and joined the others. But before she rose back into the sky, she returned to Élio. "Thank you, Élio. You gave me the most beautiful ball of all." She handed him a tiny light, soft as a feather, and flew away. Élio stayed there for a while, eyes turned to the stars, his heart full of magic. The next morning, he woke in his bed, sunlight pouring into his room. On his pillow, he found a golden paper star, delicately folded. Since that day, every night, Élio watches the sky and looks for Luma among the stars.